Morning.
Well, we had major rain last night, and the culvert in our creek going down the middle of the campground backed up and just flooded everything. It was flooding all over the train tracks, all everywhere. It was just water, like a stream of water coming off the mountain.
What was going through your head when you woke up to that?
Well, I heard that crumbling, my house crumbling, and I looked out and there was no ramp, and I grabbed my dogs and went to the office.
This is WVVA News, here for you, live in HD. WVVA News at Noon starts now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Joshua Bolden, and that is where we begin, happening now at noon. We are learning more this afternoon about various communities in Fayette and Greenbrier counties hit by flash flooding. Fayette County Commissioner Allison Taylor telling WVVA's Annie Moore that the community of Smithers, West Virginia appears to be one of the hardest hit. And we find our Annie Moore in Fayette County right now with more. Annie?
That's right. First responders just had an emergency briefing, and they're getting ready to start the process of going door to door. One of the big things they're concerned about is sewage that they say is flooding into the community. So they're going to do welfare checks to see if there's anybody with oxygen issues. It's also important to point out that they have a shelter in place set up at the Alumni Center in Montgomery. The big concern right now, the potential for another storm at 2. We're going to be with you following that closely, bringing you the very latest. Josh?
Annie Moore, thank you so much. You're really putting this all into perspective, as well as the residents that we are hearing from, not only dealing with this, but they'll be dealing with this for some time. They're in dire need of help and assistance in the coming days. Annie will, of course, have more tonight at 5 and 6, but I do want to turn back to that family you heard from there and take a listen to what they had to say.
This is life on the river down here a lot of ways, but usually it comes from the river. It doesn't come from the mountain. That's the difference this time. It's just washed everything out. You know, usually it's just a major cleanup and we just handle it. Now it's a lot of damage and cleanup, so.
That putting it all into perspective, hearing from the people on the ground, the residents and our reporters, they're on the ground. And with that, let's turn to meteorologist Colin Rogers, who's been tracking this essentially since you came in this morning. We were getting those alerts in about heavy rains, and we see what the heavy rains can do. When you all say, heed these warnings, turn around, don't drown, get to a safe place. That's extremely important. You're keeping us weather aware. What can we expect throughout the day? Is there any relief in sight?
Hey, Joshua. Unfortunately, we're going to be dealing with some more scattered showers and some thunderstorms throughout the rest of the day today, which means we'll hold on to the chance for flooding throughout the rest of the day today. But we do still have some flood warnings in effect from the rains earlier this morning. Right now, in effect in western Greenbrier County, a flood warning until 4:30 this afternoon. There's been several roads in western Greenbrier reported closed due to high water. And then also a flood warning in northwestern Fayette County. That's in effect until 2:30 p.m. for the flooding that there's going on in that part of the region. We obviously saw there many roads still flooded due to the high waters, and also a lot of mudslides reported in northwestern Fayette County. It's all because of several inches of rain that fell in a short amount of time. Here's some pictures from Smithers, West Virginia, sent in by Steve Winters. You can just see a tremendous amount of flooding, all that rain coming into one area. That's what we're dealing with in Smithers. And here's another picture out of there. You can see some cars underwater from all that rain that washed into the area. But right now, most of us have dried up for the meantime. Some cloudy skies on our Southwest Virginia Community College live weather camera. Temperatures sitting in the 60s and 70s. Bluefields at 69, Beckley at 71, Pineville right now at 73. We are still dealing with some scattered showers and thunderstorms at the moment. You can see a few showers and storms moving through Buchanan, McDowell, and Tazewell counties. The rest of the area fairly dry right now, but comes later in the afternoon, the chance for some more showers and some thunderstorms. That's why pretty much the entire region, with the exception of Wythe and Buchanan counties, are under a flood watch throughout the day today and into the overnight hours as well. So we will still hold on to the chance for flooding, as we'll see some more rounds of scattered showers and thunderstorms, not only today, but into the overnight hours as well. I'll break down that full forecast to you coming up in just a bit. But right now, it's passing back over to you.
Colin, thank you so much. We certainly do appreciate you. We'll see you for the full forecast at 12:18. But this is just a reminder, folks. Download that weather app. It will keep you safe, as well as stay tuned to WVVA.com and here on WVVA On Air. In the meantime, we do have another notice for you at noon. This one out of the Old Dominion. A heads up if you live in Tazewell, Virginia. Town police are planning to conduct a training exercise at Tazewell High School. It's happening today, August 15th, so you may notice a heightened police presence in the area of the Fincastle Turnpike and Maplewood Lane, but that is the reason why. In the meantime, if this is your first newscast of the day, let's do what we do every single day and catch you up. On the law and order side of things over in McDowell County, a pair of McDowell County deputies facing a racial discrimination lawsuit. It's over an encounter 2 summers ago, caught on camera, on body cameras. WVVA's Glenn Kittle spoke with one of those behind the court action and shares that story.
The incident that led to the federal lawsuit was captured on the body-worn cameras. The 2 deputies accused of violating the civil rights of 3 African-American residents of McDowell County.
Who comes up and asks? That's crazy.
And it scared you?
I'm trying to understand what
it scared you by me asking you a question.
Growing marijuana?
On August 7th, 2020, McDowell County deputies Dalton Martin and Jason Horn approached Donnie and Ventress Hairston at their home in Valls Creek. In the body cam footage, you can hear Mrs. Hairston say the officers asked her upon their arrival if she and her husband were growing marijuana.
Okay.
And for the police officers in this area to come up and say, are you growing marijuana? That is preposterous to me.
The Hairston's landlord, Jason Tart, lives next door, and Tart was asked for his information by Martin and Horn. In the footage, Tart declines giving the deputies his name and date of birth. At that point, Tart is threatened with arrest.
I'm not giving you my information.
Sir, if you refuse to give me your information, I'm going to arrest you.
That's fine. My property has nothing to do with any marijuana whatsoever.
Mr. Hairston pulled out his cell phone to record what was unfolding between his landlord and the deputies. One deputy pushes Hairston into his home, and Tart was arrested shortly after. Tart says the incident is a glaring example of the rift between law enforcement and the people of color living in McDowell County.
There's definitely a disconnect, I think, between law enforcement and the community. They're supposed to be, protecting and serving the community. And as you saw, Ms. Harrison is like, you're kind of frightening me here a little bit.
Later in the body cam footage, you can see the officers leave Tart's property and go to a nearby area where they found marijuana plants. Later, Tart was taken into custody and transported to the McDowell County Sheriff's Office. He was charged with obstruction, a charge that was later dismissed in magistrate court. Now Tart and the Hairstons are taking the deputies to federal court with allegations their civil rights were violated. Here for you in McDowell County, West Virginia, Glenn Kittle, WVVA News.
Glenn, thank you so much. And McDowell County Sheriff James Muncie did tell our Glenn Kittle that he is unable to comment at this time. His agency is unable to comment at this time. Glenn is staying on top of this story, and we'll continue to bring you the very latest as he learns it. In the meantime, let's head back to the Old Dominion, shall we? Because a historic home in Tazewell, Virginia is set to earn a special distinction. Harper's Home is going to be the town's first foster home. The building went up in 1930. Farm Bureau General Manager R.R. Wall commissioned that home. It was sold at auction last month. The nonprofit Care Center of Southwest Virginia was the successful bidder on that property, and they are planning to transform the home into a safe space for our foster children.
Harper's Home is going to be a temporary foster care home for children to be able to come and stay when they're removed from their home at no fault of their own. It's going to be a place where they can land and they can just get comfort and nurturing support that they need when they're going through such a trying time in their life.
Governor Glenn Youngkin called for a task force last April to fight the lack of foster parents for our foster children. Let's go around our globe, shall we? Recent military attacks between Russia and Ukraine have caused damage to one of the largest nuclear power plants in Europe. And following all that is NBC News' Morgan Chesky from the Ukraine. Morgan?
Yeah, here in Ukraine, we've seen the front lines remain relatively static over the last several weeks, but recent shelling, particularly in the area near the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, have raised worldwide concern. There have been new reports of shelling that took place outside near that plant over the weekend that now has the UN and dozens of other countries calling on Russia to withdraw their military from the plant to establish a DMZ, a demilitarized zone, around what is the largest nuclear power plant, not just in Ukraine, but in all of Europe. As of right now, witnesses tell us that Russia has not only stored their munitions and gear there, but have several hundred soldiers on site at this power plant, effectively allowing them to shell nearby areas without any fear of retaliation. President Zelensky warning Russian troops, saying, if you are found to be one of those at or near the plant, you will be a special target for our military. In the meantime, in the port city of Odessa, 2 people are dead, another injured, after they went swimming in the Black Sea and came into contact with some sort of explosive device that set off a blast that proved to be fatal. There are still details being gathered. A team is on site trying to learn more, but this reinforces the fact that that area is still likely mined, despite the fact that ships carrying grain have been able to go out, more than a dozen so far, carrying vital supplies for several countries in desperate need of food. And meanwhile, here in Kyiv, the curfew still in effect. No recent strikes over the weekend. Residents here hoping it stays that way. Morgan Chesky, NBC News, Kyiv, Ukraine.
Morgan, thank you so much. Stay safe over there. In the meantime, let's look back on this side of the pond and head over to D.C. and see what's happening in Washington. Hey, Susan.
1 week after the FBI searched the Florida home of former President Donald Trump, the latest on the investigation into his mishandling of classified documents. I'm Susan McGinnis in Washington. That's coming up.
Here for you with Joshua Bolden and meteorologist Colin Rogers. You're watching WVVA News at Noon.
In your Washington Watch this afternoon, the fast-developing story that has captured the nation's attention, the search of former President of the United States of America, Donald Trump's Florida home, Mar-a-Lago, and top-secret documents FBI agents found there. NBC's Susan McGinnis is covering these new developments since Friday's shocking revelations. Susan?
1 week after FBI agents searched Donald Trump's Florida home, the political fallout here on Capitol Hill continues, as does anti-FBI rhetoric. A warning from the FBI and Homeland Security for agents to be extra vigilant. A joint bulletin also saying their families could be at risk. Secret Service hardening security at locations including the White House. That following last week's attempted breach of the FBI Cincinnati office and a spike in anti-FBI rhetoric online and on Capitol Hill.
The FBI raid of President Trump is a complete abuse and overreach of its authority.
The Republican Party used to stand with law enforcement, and I hope some of them do today, because this kind of rhetoric is very dangerous to our country.
The Senate Intelligence Committee now asking for a national security damage assessment and for the Justice Department to provide the documents seized.
It's very important long term for the Justice Department, now that they've done this, that they show that this was not just a fishing expedition.
The former president, who this weekend pointed to great simmering anger in the country, claims the material was declassified.
It would have to be documented what they were, each document, so that people would know what had been declassified.
Months earlier, Trump's attorney signed a statement asserting all classified material was returned.
If the Trump people represented that they provided all the classified or national security information and didn't, that's a serious problem.
Still unknown potential legal jeopardy for the first president in U.S. history to have his home searched by federal agents. And the former president also said this weekend on social media that agents took from his Mar-a-Lago home documents that fall under attorney-client or executive privilege, and he wants them returned. In Washington, Susan McGinnis, back to you.
Susan, thank you for that update. I'm meteorologist Colin Rogers, and right now we're starting to get a little bit more quiet out there. We still have a few more showers and thunderstorms at the moment, especially in Buchanan, McDowell, parts of Tazewell, Mercer counties. We're seeing some showers and some thunderstorms, but not nearly anything like we were seeing earlier. We still have a flood warning from the heavy rains this morning in western Greenbrier County. It's in fact until 4:30 p.m. this afternoon. We had several reports of roads closed due to high water. And then in northwestern Fayette County, you're still under a flood warning until 2:30 this afternoon from all the flooding going on there. Even some mudslides being reported as well in parts of northwestern Fayette County. So cleanup is certainly underway as several inches of rain fell in a line. Thunderstorms trained through Charleston, into northern Fayette County, and into western Greenbrier. You can see this heavy band of rain. Locally, though, in northwestern Fayette County, saw some really heavy rain. Radar estimates nearly 6 inches of rain fell in parts of northwestern Fayette County. That's why they saw so much flooding. And here are some pictures sent in from Smithers, West Virginia. It's right on the border of Kanawha and Fayette County. You can see a lot of water, a lot of flooding. In fact, Danielle Phillips snapped these pictures. She said that they had to be rescued by a boat early this morning from their house. So certainly some scary situations in parts of northwestern Fayette County this morning. Here's some more images of the flooding in Smithers, West Virginia. And we're not out of the woods just yet. There's still a flood watch in effect for the majority of the region. That goes into effect now until late tonight. So their flood watch is in effect now and will stay in effect until this evening for the threat for some more heavy thunderstorms that could produce some flooding because of all that heavy rain. So just a reminder, flood watch, which is in effect for the majority of the region right now, that means that flooding is possible, and make sure to stay tuned for any warnings issued. Once a flood warning, a flash flood warning, or flood advisory is issued, that means you need to take action now as flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. Right now, northwestern Fayette and western Greenbrier counties are under flood warnings as they're experiencing flooding at the moment. But temperatures right now sitting in the 70s for most. Bluefield, West Virginia, Beckley both at 71. Lewisburg right now coming in at 66. And like I was saying, we still will hold on to the threat for some more scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the afternoon hours. Notice these heavy downpours. That's what we're worried about. That's what could produce some more flooding into the afternoon and the evening hours as well. We'll hold on to the chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Most of us look to dry up overnight tonight. Temperatures will be in the 60s. Tomorrow, we'll see some more scattered showers. Not as widespread as we're seeing today, but hold on to the chance for some hit or miss showers. Temperatures a bit cooler with all that cloud cover, though. Highs in the 60s and low 70s. So we're staying unsettled throughout the week. Only some isolated chances of some rain showers Tuesday, Wednesday, into Thursday. Friday and into the weekend, that's when we'll see a better chance for some rain and some thunderstorms returning back to the region. But in the meantime, today, we're still going to be dealing with those heavy showers and thunderstorms. Once again, flooding will be a concern throughout the rest of the day today. The afternoon and the evening hours, we could still see some heavy thunderstorms producing some flooding throughout the rest of the day. Tuesday, we'll hold on to the chance for some more showers, a lot of cloud cover around. That'll keep us cooler in the upper 60s, low to mid 70s. And we'll hold on to the chance for some isolated showers Wednesday, Thursday. Better chance of rain and storms returns Friday and into the weekend. We're staying pretty cool, though, below average in the upper 60s and low 70s.
Meteorologist Colin Rogers, thank you so much. Folks, we want to remind you, Ramey Auto Group, the American Red Cross, and us here at WVVA, we've all teamed up for another summer of Drives of the Week. When you donate blood, you're in the running to win that really nice car on your screen there. That is a 2022 Rusty Orange Chevy Spark LS. This is all about saving lives. 1 pint of blood saves up to 3 lives, so come on out and donate. Our next featured Drive of the Week will be found on WVVA.com as well as redcrossblood.org. Our next featured Drive of the Week is on August 19th at the Mercer Mall from noon to 5 p.m. For more information, again, you can head to those websites. Keep it locked. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and before we go, let's just put this into perspective one more time. Honestly, that flooding that we're experiencing right now, it makes you realize that you need to heed warnings when we hear it. When we hear warnings from you guys on air or online or on our phones. That's why you need to have all these tools, because of what you're seeing there on your screen. We're certainly praying for the community in Fayette County as well as Greenbrier County and everybody who's been impacted by flooding today. But Colin, I know you're going to continue to monitor this. You and Catherine Thompson are on shift today monitoring it all.
Yeah, that's right, because we saw all the heavy rain earlier. We obviously still have the flood warnings in effect for Greenbrier, Fayette counties. Flooding is still ongoing in those areas after all the heavy rain we saw earlier this morning, but the threat doesn't stop. Throughout the rest of the afternoon hours, we'll see some more scattered showers and thunderstorms. Those storms could produce some heavy rainfall, so that's why pretty much the entire viewing area is under that flood watch throughout the remainder of the day and into the evening hours. We'll hold on to the chance for some more scattered showers and thunderstorms once again. Those storms could produce some heavy rainfall, so flooding will be a threat throughout the rest of the afternoon and into the evening hours. Tonight, temperatures will be in the 50s, low 60s. And looking ahead, after all the rain we received today, we will start to lighten up tomorrow. We'll see some spotty showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, but not everyone's going to see rain throughout the day tomorrow. What we will see is a lot of cloud cover, so that'll keep us cooler. High temperatures only topping off in the upper 60s and low 70s. We'll hold on to the chance for a few more spotty, isolated showers throughout the middle of the week. Most of us staying dry, though, which is some good news for any communities cleaning up from the flooding. But on Friday and into the weekend, that's when we'll start to grow more unsettled with some more showers and thunderstorms making their way into the region. Temperatures throughout the next several days will be in the upper 60s and low to mid 70s, actually cooler than average.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank meteorologist Catherine Thompson and meteorologist Jeffrey Houle for all they do. And, of course, Annie Moore's going to have more on that flooding in Fayette County and Greenbrier County at 5 and 6, so please keep it here on WVVA. We also do have some lighter stuff like State Fair coverage. That's coming up at 5 and 6. Meantime, Extra up next, days after that at 1, and you know some drama's happening there. Don't change that dial. Bye, y'all.